Okay, so we've got about 12 minutes till the open. We're on the FDAX Mini, so basically we're looking at the smaller contract sizes on the DAX. We've got the cam levels over here, so the pivot points. We've got S3, which is the lower sort of extremity, and we're finding some support around the S2 at probably about 4 points. So we've come down and rejected once, twice, 3 times, and finally another time here, close to the open. Now the interesting thing I want to show you on the 1 hour order flow, we can see a seriously big order. Looks like it was probably aggressive buying rather than passive selling. As you can see by the number, so it's 114 contracts rather than the perhaps 10 or less that you normally see. So massive entry on the 1 hour chart over here. And if we look at the 5 minute chart, so the order flow on the 5 minute chart, we can see that 111 of those contracts were in this 5 minute period here. And that's when the market would have been around this point. So about a half an hour before open, and then the market has since moved up as you would expect. So that order there, that order block, has really pushed the market in the other direction. You can see the volume profile here. It's got a massive amount compared to the rest of the trade for the day. And right now we're just looking to see, I guess, what the market does, get a feel for what's going on until the open, and then we'll look for entries potentially long towards this close gap. So basically the same as yesterday. We can see here the market went up and touched the previous day's low. However, it still poses as an extreme gap because it didn't get reached during the market hours. So we're still looking for this previous day's low to fill. If this S2 holds at the open and we don't miss the entry long, then it could be a very good entry to get into. Over the next 9 minutes, for example, though, if the market were to travel upwards and kind of drift towards this previous day's low, it may be too late for us to get in with a reasonable entry, meaning that the risk to reward ratio wouldn't be of value to us. Now we can see here some green or bid side orders coming in. That could be limit orders getting placed or getting hit there, creating some support, or it could be aggressive selling to push us lower. So the benefit of the volume profile or the order flow is basically to build a picture of what's actually going on in the market. So is it more aggressive selling on the bid side, or is it a limit order to take the market back the other way? And same or opposite for the ask. So big orders above this limit order, for example, so if it goes 10 on the green, so the bid, and then you start seeing this build up on the ask side above that level, it could mean that there's limit orders and then aggressive buying above that point to take the market higher. On the flip side, if it keeps going down, so you see this big number 10 and then there's more green on this side, it could mean that there's more aggressive selling coming in. So it's just about building a picture, trying to understand what the market's trying to do, particularly around these bigger orders. So this big 111 down here, you're sort of 3 or 4 ticks away from the very bottom of this kind of movement here. So you're looking for indications like that. We didn't see anything like that yesterday. So this is a great example of that sort of a scenario where the order flow does tell you what's going on. Now, even though this is the FDAX Mini, each point is basically $5 or €5. So I don't want to get in anywhere in the middle, because even a small movement is still about €100 potential risk. This Apex account can only take about 1,500 USD of risk. So I want to make sure that I sort of stick within the framework of the drawdowns. So I can't get into a trade if it's in the middle of nowhere. So we've basically got 5 minutes till the open. If this market drifts too much higher, we may not have a good entry. However, if we do see a nice push down, we see some interest in the volume profile, the order flow, to show us that there is more buying coming in from those levels. In particular, this one here, the S2, then it may be worth a look for us to get long. On the flip side, if we do drift up, I may not get in. So quick recap on what happened yesterday. It's not letting me pull it out, but basically we were hovering around the breakout short. We did push lower, so I had an entry around this level. We pushed a little lower because I got in pre-market. It did go down to the low before going up towards this pivot. So see if I can move this. Here we go, auto scroll. Okay, so here's what happened yesterday. I got in pre-market thinking this was the rejection area. The market did fall a bit lower to the previous day's low, which would have been a better entry. So that's why I'm not taking any trades pre-market. It's generally not the best idea unless it's a really strong setup. So the market pulled down. I was in about $100 drawdown at this point, at the low. However, the market did come up. I got out on this candle here, I think it was. So it was quite a good exit before the market came right back down to the low. And we did eventually reach that close gap. However, I wouldn't have wanted to sit in that trade for too long. I was quite happy to just take 10% to target and get out of that position. So overall, the analysis was spot on. We got exactly to target and some. Just wasn't willing to wait it out and take that risk, particularly this early in the trade. Hi Trek Lord, thanks for coming back. Glad you got your prize. Have you started your account? Not too sure on that one. I know they don't take Amex though. So probably, unless you can get a Visa card tied to your crypto potentially. We've got 2 minutes to the open. We're seeing a fair bit of activity already. So the market, see on the depth of market, it's jumping around quite a bit. Still a little bit high from where I'd like to get in. So if we do have a nice pullback into these S2 levels, I'll be very happy. 2 minutes till the open, so we just want to watch, hoping for a nice pullback. I'll have a quick look at the Bollinger Bands on the other time frames. Weekly seems to be turning down. Daily is turning down. We've broken below some of this pricing here. 4 hour, we are outside of the lower Bollinger Band, and that's often quite a strong buy indicator. 1 hour chart, we'd have to get to the S3, 30-minute. Same deal. Okay. So if we see a really strong push down, we've got about 1 minute to open, a bit of activity on the depth of market. Push down as we anticipate. Just waiting for that clock to tick over. If we get a bit more of a push down, it's quite aggressive buying. Okay, I'm in long. We'll see where the market takes us. I will have to get out of the trade quite quickly if it doesn't hold here though. There's a lot of volatility at play. This one's the evaluation, so it's a 25k evaluation. We've got to hit 1500 target, and 1500 is the max drawdown. So I don't want to stay in the trade for too long if this level doesn't hold. It's a very okay. We're just watching the price action here. We can see here the P&L, open P&L is sort of sitting around zero. Hopefully this level will hold and we'll get up to at least this previous day's low, which is the extreme gap. It's often a very strong target, but given the daily chart has pushed below some of that support, it could see the market drop off a little bit further. Doesn't seem to be holding, so I may have to look for an exit. Try and zoom in on this order flow, see if we can get any indication of what's really going on. Nothing strong enough, quite weak sort of information here. Nothing to tell me that the market is going to get pushed the other way. Just going to hold a little bit longer because we do have some wicks previously today around this same level. That's a big order there. I'm not sure what that is. That could have been a limit order or it could have been aggressive selling. So still waiting for the picture to determine. It may have been aggressive selling because the market's folding away, but I'm not ready to let go of the trade just yet. Because if that was a limit order on the bid side, that means the market's looking to go long. Okay. There's probably a bit more green or bid orders than the red side. So I'm not overly positive on the direction at the moment. I'm tempted to perhaps just get out of this position, because if this 41 here is in fact an aggressive seller, I don't want to be on the other side of that. I'm just going to click on the depth of market, just try and get out of this position. Okay, so we had about $1 loss. It's going to kind of jump around. So you can see how the order flow paints a better picture of what's going on rather than just the chart on its own. I can see that there's potentially some limit orders or aggressive selling going on here. And the market kind of hasn't picked what direction it wants to go just yet. Whereas if on the face value of this chart, we'd sort of be sitting here hoping that this level holds, and we wouldn't really have any clue of what's actually going on. So this information here is invaluable to us, particularly when there's a lot of orders coming and going. And what I'll be looking for is another situation like this giant ask order here, perhaps a little bit lower. So there we go. There's a lot of selling. That may have been all limit orders down here because we've got the bids. The ask side coming in up higher. Might have been stop losses getting cleared out potentially as well. But I'm not sure this is the end of the downward movement. There may be some more stops to clear out just below these levels. So I'm not going to get in just yet. It does look positive, but again, with the risk, how the Apex Trader funding works, I don't want to get into something that's going to go a lot further down, say all the way to the S3. I don't have any sort of clear stop loss points if this does break lower. So I'm not too keen on getting in just yet. This may be a limit order area just here. We can see the volume profile down at 24,1402. So the market may kind of go lower like that. Yeah. It's maybe clearing out all these stops. We've got some volume here as well, which we may try and target. There we go. So we're really fortunate to get out of that long. And we're just perhaps looking for a reason to get long at these lower levels, but not just yet. It's quite a good week if this does turn around. Very good entry. However, I don't want to get in too early. Probably happy to miss this position if the market just turns around from here. There's too much risk for the reward that I'm looking for, and the market's moving south quite heavily. Yeah, the trailing threshold is quite a pain, but I guess the benefit for Apex Trader funding is it's a lot cheaper. They offer a lot better discounts a lot of the time, I've found. So if you can sort of get around the trailing threshold, it does seem to be a bit more worth it. It depends on your strategy, of course. Okay. It still looks like more sellers than buyers. So I'm not ready to get long just yet. Hopefully at some point they will bring in that end of day drawdown. It does make it a lot easier because then you can let trades run. But the other thing is once you get a live account and you get past that $100 into profit, as the max trailing, it stops trailing at that point. So if you're a good trader and you can hang in there and get to that point, then the trailing drawdown isn't an issue. So it's just getting to that level where you're in profit and you're confident with your account. Just trying to read what's going on here. It's a lot of sell orders. Just not quite ready to get in. So had I not had the order flow, I wouldn't have seen all of the bid side orders, that big 40 that we saw up above, and I would have probably stayed in this trade, just hoping the market will naturally turn around, just on the basis of the pivots. But because of the order flow, I was able to determine that the position of that 40 up here was kind of in the middle, so it was more likely to be an aggressive seller hitting this side to push the market lower. So from that regard, every now and then, the order flow can save you. Now that 4, it's a new bar of course, but I'm trying to figure out if this is the right time to look going long. I need some more information from the order flow to take me in though. Because as with Apex, the trailing drawdown, it's very tight. And I don't want to take unnecessary risks. I think this is going to go long here. I'm going to go in from here. I'll look for a quick entry if it does turn around though. A quick exit, I should say. It's forming a bit more ask side activity, which may indicate a bit more aggressive buying, but the sellers are still there at the same time. So I might just have to get out of this trade. Okay, I'm out of that one, so I've lost about $80 there. Just looking for the indication when the market will go long and hopefully aim for that target. Could have been some limit orders there. We're right on the S3 now. Tempted to get in very soon. There's 14 here, 14 contracts, so I'm in there. There's a lot of activity going on here. 17 contracts, but we've got a lot of selling on this side too. Could be limit orders, could be buy limits. 60, 72. Just waiting to see what this 72 actually means. We've broken the S3. Got a lot of massive order here. So we really need the buyers to take hold from this point. May not happen. So if it's anything like this candle here though, it did push up a lot higher. So we took some serious heat, but then eventually it did go the other way. So we'll see if that plays out again. Sitting right near that big order. We've got some more buyers coming in at that price. Market's sort of heating up. You'll have the people that watch this S3 potentially getting long off that. It's kind of heading long now. We'll see how far it can go. Okay, so some scalpers may just be looking to get in and out. That they might be done off that move there. I'm going to hang in there unless I see something else come in from the order flow, giving me a reason that I need to get out. So there's 19. If that's not aggressive buying, that might be people target profits getting hit there. Just got to be really ready to get out of the market if it does turn back down. I'm hoping we can get a little bit higher, because we did take that loss earlier, so I'm sitting at about $70 profit, or €70 I should say, overall. Maybe running out of steam here. I'm just going to try and take that, I think. Okay, so not an amazing day. 55, I believe that's about $55 up. And the market's pulling back down now. So not the best day. Had I have, I guess, waited and not got in up here, so from here to here was the loss of about 80, but I've made about 80 overall in this move. And the reason I got in was because we had a big order here, similar to, so there's 75 contracts, similar to what happened here. We saw some really good buying come in off that level. And we also had the S3 over here, so providing some support for the CFD retail traders just looking to buy off that price. The market did fall through it quite a bit. Yeah, thank you. I was pretty happy with that. And we live to trade tomorrow, so that's always a positive. We can always come back again tomorrow, hopefully get a little bit closer to target. I have a feeling this may still come up to the previous day's low. But again, with that trailing drawdown, it's a bit risky. Because if we come up, let's say we come up by $300, that squeezes my total drawdown amounts that I can have. I'm just not willing to take that risk this early in the evaluation, particularly when I want to come back and do my live sessions. Now, is there anybody in the chat who, obviously Treklord, you've got your free account. Is there anybody in the chat still who wants their live account? As I said, there's a free giveaway every day for the next 10 days. It has to go to a different person each day though, so, sorry Treklord. But anyone else, if you're in the chat, just let me know. If you want your free account, I can send that through to you. You just have to send me an email and I'll send you the code to get your free account. From a pivot point perspective, this is an excellent trade, but watching the order flow, it's not really a super strong indication that we're going to keep going long. The differential between the bid and ask isn't massive. So from this point of view, on the CFD charts, it looks like a really great trade to stay in. But from the order flow point of view, I'm not overly convinced. Yeah, thanks for coming back and watching. Hopefully you can figure out how to put in the right card. I really appreciate your support. Starting to move up. If we can break this kind of structure here, we'll be looking quite good. I prefer the London session too. The New York session can get very volatile, particularly if you're using minimum volume, like in this case for the 25k Apex challenge. The risk kind of blows out of proportion. You've got to be very well timed. So bit of a pullback here. This may take a while for the buyers to sort of take hold here, if it works at all. As I mentioned, you can probably see I'm flat, so 0 positions in the market, and probably not looking to get back in. I haven't read the market perfectly today, so what, $55 odd up is probably good enough. I'll just see if I can pull up some orders. No. Close that off. Kind of looks like the sellers are in control still. So it may take a while for the market to actually push higher. Still waiting on the giveaway, guys. If there is anybody in the chat that does want a free Apex account, it's for any size, free for the first month, and I'll send you the code. All right, so anyone that's, I'm going to probably head off shortly, but anyone that's watching this order flow, if there is an indication that there's a lot of buyers coming in, or the selling looks really weak and it starts to turn back around, I would be tempted to get long, where we've got the 24,000 flat mark. It's a fair distance away, actually. Where is it? It's about 50 points below the S3. I'd be watching this level if you're going to hang around, or if you start to see some really strong buying in between where we are now and the S3, that's what I'd be looking for. That looks like selling to me. There may not be enough sellers to keep it this low, so the market kind of pushed right up through and gapped a little bit there. Just seeing if the buyers can take hold from this point. So this is where the order flow really comes into it. Over on the pivot points, you've got to be really patient and just hope the market's going in your direction. Whereas the order flow, so it's created a bit of a shelf on the bid side. If we can see some stronger red activity, so stronger ask orders, it may indicate that the buyers will start to take hold. Now, ideally, I'd have a delta figure at the bottom of my chart telling me which is stronger, so the bid versus the ask overall, but I've kind of got to eyeball it and just hope for the best. The strategy is based... I've been watching these pivot points for probably close to 2 decades. And I'm really just looking for rejections and interaction with these levels, targeting, say, a close gap. But often it is counter trend, so I want to often see the market push into a level before I get in, rather than just following a trend. Mind you, it doesn't always work out, so... There's a bit of activity at this 105, so there's potentially aggressive buying. This might have been a limit order from when it pushed up above. 24,100's getting some buying. And I just wonder if it's going to go all the way down to the 24,000 big round number before we start to see some buying coming in. So there's information isn't strong enough for me to make a decisive act at this moment. That looks a bit better, but it's still quite light in the numbers. So we've got 10, 13, 20 over here, whereas we've only got 8, 6, 6, 4 over here. It still looks like there's more. See on this volume profile, the green is the I guess the bid limit orders. That's an 8 there. So it still seems like there's a lot more limit orders just sitting down here to be taken before we get the ask side kind of getting filled up. So see how this line here is quite elevated compared to this side. But we're on the S3 right now, market's moving. If I was flying blind, I'd be tempted to just get in, but I'm still not convinced on the order flow side. Alright, that's probably it from me. I'm not looking to get in from these levels. I'm not convinced. It's outstanding entry, and we're sort of half an hour into trade. So generally I'm looking to trade the open, and that's about it. So I'm going to call it there, guys. We're about $50 up for the day, which is good enough. We'll come back again tomorrow. See you there.